I should have brought some jokes or something while we're reading. Anybody have any jokes? I don't remember any. I hear them all the time and I love them and I want to repeat them and I don't remember them.
It was just a little slow getting started tonight. Sorry.
Oh, we're all good. I'm just scrolling through the top so I can see people. The Black family, the Howies, Matt and Katie, the Hoods, Declan, Christina, Grayson, Muhlenstein. This is awesome.
This is like our very special guest, the cream of the crop here, everybody. Thanks so much for coming. I think we're set. There's nobody waiting to get in. So thank you, Mrs. McCormack, for volunteering. And I'm so excited for this story.
All right, we're ready to go? All right, so hi, everybody. This is so awesome. Griffin family coming together. Hope everyone's all had their dinner and ready for a good story. So I'm reading to you one of my favorite stories in the world. And this is called Owen and Emsie, the true story of a remarkable friendship. So I read this story. This was written back in 2006. And I used to teach fourth grade before I became a principal. And I used to read this story to my class, and there is a sequel to it also. So that's something that you can look at after you read this if you like it. But it's a nonfiction story. So that means that it really happened. And that's my favorite part of it. So I'm going to put myself back on the screen so I can make sure my picture is actually showing. Hidden myself. There we go. All right, so I'm going to take my face out of the screen so you can see the pictures. So this is the story of Owen and Emsie. And you know what? One more thing before I start reading. The author is Isabella Hatkoff and Craig Hatkoff. Isabella was 9 years old when she wrote this story with her dad, and she's gone on to write more stories. So 9 years old, that's just like you guys out there. Hopefully your name will be on a book someday. So this is the true story of two great friends, a baby hippopotamus named Owen and a 130-year-old giant tortoise named Emsie. The hippo was not always friends with the tortoise, and he wasn't always known as Owen. And Owen was not always famous the world over, but here is how it happened. Now, before the baby hippo became known as Owen, he lived with his mother in a group, or a pod, with about 20 other hippos. They fed and they wallowed in and around the Sabaki River in Kenya, a nation on the east coast of Africa. When he was about 1 year old, heavy December rains flooded the river. The racing water washed Owen and his family downstream until the fresh water became salty and the river flowed into the Indian Ocean near the small coastal town of Malindi. Now, for days, the people of Malindi tried to chase the hippos back up the river, but the hippos enjoyed grazing the grasses along the shore and in the villagers' yards. Now, since hippos are the most dangerous animal in Africa, and a full-grown adult hippo can weigh as much as 8,000 pounds, there was little that the people could do to move these hippos. So they stayed. On the morning of December 26th in 2004, the sea suddenly rushed high on the beaches, surging waves pounding on the shore. Many of the villagers' boats were damaged, and the fishermen had to be rescued. And before long, the sea became calm again. But it was a frightening time for everybody. A day passed before anyone even thought to check on all the hippos. The villagers now saw that only one hippopotamus in the sea, a baby hippo without his mother, stranded on a sandy coral reef among the seagrass. Tired and frightened, he was unable to reach the shore on his own. Soon, hundreds of villagers and visitors were working on a plan to help the young hippo. They knew that he would become sick if he stayed in the salty seawater for too long. They used ropes and boats and nets and even cars to try to rescue him and bring him ashore to safety. It was soon clear that this rescue would not be easy. Though the baby hippo was only about 2 feet tall, he weighed 600 pounds and he was pretty slippery and really strong. And the hippo was alarmed by all the human commotion. Angrily, he would break through their nets and escape them from their ropes. He didn't know that they were trying to help. Hours went by, and the anxious crowds of people who gathered to watch feared that this baby hippo could not be saved. Finally, with a stronger shark net, the rescuers were able to catch the hippo. A brave visitor named Owen tackled him and stopped him long enough to get others to secure the net. That is why, when it came time to choose a name for the hippo, it only seemed right that he would be called Owen. At last, the rescuers towed the baby hippo toward land. When they reached the shore, a loud and joyous cheer went up from the thousands of men and women and boys and girls who crowded the beach watching this. Their happy cries could be heard almost a mile away. Wrapped in the net, Owen was hoisted into the back of a pickup truck and brought to a shady spot. I love how all these people came together to help Owen. Now, people weren't really sure what they should do with Owen and where they should bring him next. So they called Haller Park, which is an animal sanctuary, a place that took care of animals, about 50 miles away near the city of Mombasa. Dr. Paula, the manager, immediately offered Owen a place to live. She explained that he could never return back to the wild. Since he was still a baby, he wouldn't have learned yet to fend for himself, and he would die. And he would never be welcomed into another hippo pod, another hippo family, because he would be seen as an intruder and attacked. But they would take really good care of him at Haller Park. Dr. Paula even offered to drive to Malindi herself to bring Owen home. Now, Dr. Paula knew that she would need help. She asked the chief animal caretaker of her sanctuary, Stephen, to come along with her. She knew that Stephen had a really special way with animals. Some people say that he could even talk to them. Dr. Paula and Stephen quickly set off in her small truck to Malindi. Meanwhile, ecologist Sabine got to work with others in Haller Park to prepare for Owen's arrival. It's almost like getting his new bedroom ready. This is very exciting. And when Dr. Paula and Stephen arrived in Malindi, they helped to remove the nets and lead Owen out of the pickup. But Owen became angrier than ever, and he charged at the people that were gathering around. He still didn't understand what was happening. They tried to calm him down by wrapping a blanket around his head. That way he wouldn't see the things that were upsetting him. But that made Owen super angry too. And after many hours, about a dozen rescuers managed to move Owen from the pickup into Dr. Paula's truck, tying him so that he would be safe during the long ride to Haller Park. I could imagine how scary that must seem for Owen, not knowing where he was going, not realizing these people were trying to help him. Now, meanwhile, back at the sanctuary, Sabine and others worked preparing a large enclosure for Owen. They chose a part of the park that had a pond with mud and had a pond and a mud wallow, as well as trees and brush, everything a hippo could want. The area was already home to a number of bush bucks. Does anybody know what a bush buck is? I wonder if there's a glossary in this story. I'll have to look that up later, but the bush bucks are going to be living with Owen. And vervet monkeys and a giant Aldabra tortoise named Mz. Mz, whose name means wise old man in the Swahili language, was the oldest living creature in the park. About 130 years old, he had been alive since before Stephen's great-grandmother was born. And he wasn't very friendly, except for Stephen, who seemed to know just what he liked, such as getting tickled right underneath the chin. Other than Stephen, Mz completely stayed to himself. No one could have guessed how Mz's life was about to change. Get a close-up of him. He's just happy being himself and by himself. 130 years old. You can see how big he is in this picture because that's just his head next to a person, next to Stephen. Finally, Dr. Paula and Stephen arrived with Owen, who was now really weak and exhausted. As soon as the ropes that held him were untied, Owen scrambled from the truck directly to MZ, who was resting in the corner of the enclosure. He crouched behind him immediately. This was the picture taken as soon as he got off of the truck. He crouched behind MZ the way that baby hippos often hide behind their mothers for protection when they're little. At first, MZ wasn't happy about this attention. He hissed at Owen and he crawled away immediately. But Owen, who could easily keep up with the old tortoise, did not give up. And slowly, as the night went on, MZ began to accept his new companion. And when the park workers checked on them in the morning, Owen was snuggled up against MZ, and MZ did not seem to mind at all. Can't see me, but I'm smiling. This is the part I love. Over the next few days, MZ continued to crawl away from Owen, and Owen continued to follow MZ. But sometimes it was Owen who would walk away from MZ, and then MZ would go and follow Owen. Bit by bit, MZ grew friendlier. Now, at first, Owen wouldn't eat any of the leaves left out for him by the workers and the other caretakers, and they were worried that he would become weaker and weaker. But then they noticed Owen feeding right beside MZ, as if MZ were showing him how to eat. Or perhaps it was MZ's protective presence that helped Owen feel calm enough to take a bite. No one will ever know, but it was clear that the bond between Owen and MZ was helping this baby hippo to recover from being separated from his mother and his family and stranded at sea. Here they are in the woods, just chilling out, just hanging out together. And as the weeks went on, Owen and MZ spent more and more time together. Soon they were inseparable. Their bond remains very strong to this day. They swim together, they eat together, they drink together, and they sleep right next to each other. Owen leads the way to different parts of the enclosure, and then MZ leads the way. Owen playfully nuzzles MZ's neck, and MZ stretches his neck forward, asking for more, just as he does when Stephen tickles him under the chin. Though both animals could easily injure each other, they're gentle with one another. A sense of trust has grown between them. Look at that one. He's tickling his head. That's a big $6,000 tickle. Wildlife experts are still completely puzzled about how this very unlikely friendship came to be. Most have never heard of a mammal such as Owen and a reptile such as MZ forming such a strong bond. Perhaps for Owen, it happened this way. Young hippos like Owen, they need their mothers in order to survive. An old, slow tortoise like MZ can never protect Owen in a fierce way Mother Hippo could do. But since MZ's coloring and rounded shape are similar to a hippo's, it's possible that to Owen, MZ looks like the hippo mother that he really needed. Harder to explain is the affection that MZ seems to show for Owen. Like most Aldabra tortoises, MZ has always preferred to be alone. But sometimes these tortoises live in groups, and perhaps MZ sees Owen as a fellow tortoise, the first tortoise he is willing to spend time with in his 103 years of life. Or perhaps MZ knows that Owen isn't a tortoise, but he likes him anyway. Now, the reasons are unclear, but science can't always explain what the heart already knows, that our most important friends are sometimes those who we least expect. Now, news of Owen and MZ's friendship quickly spread around the world. People all over have come to love Owen, who endured so much and gave up, yet never gave up, and MZ, who became Owen's friend when he needed one the most. Now, their photographs have appeared in countless newspaper and magazine articles, television programs, even a film documentary have been made about them. Visitors came to Haller Park every single day to meet these famous friends. Look at this picture. Look how happy they are. Owen suffered a great loss, but with the help of many, many caring people, and through his extraordinary resilience, Owen had begun a new happy life. Most remarkable is the role that MZ has played. We'll never know for sure whether Owen sees MZ as a mother, a father, or just a really super duper great friend. But it really doesn't matter. What matters is that Owen isn't alone, and neither is MZ. And that is the true story of Owen and MZ, two great friends. And at the beginning, there's a picture of Owen and MZ. I didn't read the dedication, but you can see Isabella wrote it and her father. So that's my story. This, like I said, is one of my favorite stories. So I have one more story, if that's okay, I'm going to read. If you have to hop off, if you have something to do, or need to run out, that's okay. But I'm going to read the second story to get us all ready for bed. And in order to do that, I need to get ready for bed. So hold on one second, because I have to put on my pajamas. I'm still here. I'm just getting my PJs on so I can get cozy, so I can really put these griffins to bed. I tried to sit on the floor with my dog, but she wouldn't sit still, so I'm going to stay in my chair. All right. I hope everybody else is cozy too, that your teeth are brushed, your PJs are on, and you're ready to go. You got your spirit wear laid out at the end of your bed for tomorrow, and you're ready to go. All right. Oh, this is so much better. I'll pull this down so you can see the whole effect. I love this. This is my onesie. All right, we ready for our second story? So this one, maybe it's a nonfiction book. I don't know. It's called The Nice Dream Truck. I think it might be nonfiction. I believe in nice dream trucks. So this is A Nice Dream Truck by Beth Ferry, illustrated by Bridget Barriger. Here we go. You ready? The Nice Dream Truck. That exhaust reminds me of the colors in my PJs. Ooh, this looks intriguing. I like that nice dream truck with the ice cream on top. When bedtime is near and teeth are all brushed and the house is asleep and the noises are hushed, you might hear a tune, you might be in luck. You might get a visitor from the Nice Dream Truck. The truck is a wonder. It floats and it flies, steered by a girl with stars in her eyes, who's ready to help you get ready for bed by serving up dreams to dreams in your head. The choices are endless, the toppings worth trying. They're silly and funny and so satisfying. With dreams about treasure and dreams about winning, dreams about magic and pirouettes spinning. And dreams about summer and dreams about snow, dreams about puppies wherever you go. Whoa, that's a good dream. Sample some princesses, try super speed, or be a great hero who helps those in need. I don't know about you, but I've had a lot of these dreams. Dreams about flying, dreams about whales, dreams about dragons with jelly bean scales. Scoop up some moon beams. Try astronaut, or the triple dip cone that's called making the shot. Dream about narwhals who draw on the ice. And then move it closer, you can see them drawing. Hey, they're drawing me, a unicorn. That's a cool one. Or years where your birthday comes not once, but twice. 2 birthdays in 1 year. That would be awesome. And if you like dreams a tiny bit scary, dream of sea monsters, hefty and hairy. I don't know about you, but that still doesn't look scary. It looks like a delicious pirate ship. Sample some drummer, taste some guitar, try standing ovation, or even rock star. How many have ever dreamed of being a rock star? There are dreams that are big and dreams that are small. See his big ice cream, and then you see his little ice cream. And dreams where kids are in charge of it all. That'd be fun. Dreams that surprise and dreams that delight, and dreams so supreme you'll choose them each night. So pile your dish with scoops to the sky, or choose just one you've been longing to try. Do you think you can do that? Pick your dream before you go to sleep? Maybe if you're thinking about it as you go to sleep, you dream about it. Now there's all kinds of dreams for all kinds of kids. Try something new. You'll be glad that you did. So scope out your choices, make up your mind, hold out your bowl, and get ready to find a dish full of dreams that was scooped just for you by this magical pair who make dreams come true. Now hop into bed and snuggle down deep. You've got your nice dream. Good night. Time to sleep. The end. Wait, you're all awake still. What happened? I see lots of people looking at me. All right, I hope that you enjoyed my 2 stories. Like I said, one of my favorites. If you want to go on, if you take a look, there is another Owen and MZ story. And I actually, just to let you know, I obviously had to look up and see what happened, and they're still alive and everything. Maybe I shouldn't tell you. Maybe if you want to do a little research to find out where Owen and MZ are and how their story, I don't want to say ended, but where their story is now. I'm not going to say anything right now. I hope that you'd enjoyed it. I hope everyone is ready for bed. And I want to say good night, Griffins.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.